Mrs. Eleanor Vance, woman whose entire existence seemed dedicated to eliminating the organic and embracing the aggressively synthetic, viewed my property not merely as an older home, but as an affront to her newly established reign. She had recently, through relentless political maneuverings, secured the presidency of the Homeowners Association, transforming it overnight from a neighborhood oversight committee into a weapon of *** bureaucratic conformity ***. 6 weeks into her tenure, the administrative malice began, aimed specifically at the oldest, quietest resident, me. She failed to recognize that I was not merely an older man. I was a historian of this specific landscape. I was the keeper of documents, an archaeologist of deeds and bylaws. Eleanor was obsessed with speed and superficial appearance, the polished chrome of new construction. I was the immovable object, governed by the slow, unyielding logic of history. Her philosophy dictated that value was determined by rapid turnover. I knew that the true, lasting value was secured by the *** physical paper that preceded the digital ledger ***. She mistook my silence and deliberate lack of resistance for a fatal weakness. She didn't realize that while she was weaponizing the current rulebook, I was patiently holding the original architectural constitution. The primary target of her aggression, the symbolic stain on her pristine vision, was my magnificent, ancient white oak a venerable giant, 200 years old, whose sprawling canopy cast a comforting, deep shadow over my entire front yard. To Eleanor, this was not character. It was a defiant threat to her vision of uniform, sterile perfection. Her campaign began with the administrative equivalent of a paper cut, a fine of $250 for excessive leaf litter. It was utterly petty, yet legally sound under her rewritten code. I paid it quietly. My reaction was intentionally designed to communicate low expectation and guaranteed her fatal condescension. The second citation was more creative and more revealing of her intent. A $500 fine for unapproved shade casting on public sidewalks. It was an absurdity, a tax on the sun's natural path. But I paid that too. Each fine, each transaction was a step in my slow, calculated defense. I was allowing the pressure to build, creating the friction necessary to expose exactly where the pressure relief valves of her fragile command structure lay. The fines began arriving with a chilling regularity, each one more intrusive and meticulously detailed. She cited me for having a faded mailbox flag, for having patio furniture visible from the street, and even for the color of the paint on my shed door, claiming it was 3 shades off the approved beige palette. My cumulative fines quickly climbed past $4,000 The inevitable confrontation occurred on a Tuesday afternoon. I was outside, engaged in the slow, deliberate work of pruning my roses. Eleanor stopped her pristine white SUV at the curb, the expensive German engine idling aggressively. She leaned over the passenger seat and addressed me, her voice dripping with artificial, predatory pity. "Mr. Henderson," she smiled, a look of smug finality hardening her features. "You've exhausted your appeals. The fines are now $4,800. It would be infinitely cheaper to simply cut the *** monstrosity ** down. We've already contracted a removal service for next Tuesday. We'll bill you for the labor, of course." I leaned on my rake, offering the slow, deliberate nod of an old man who doesn't quite grasp the urgency of high finance. "It's a very old tree, Eleanor," I said softly, letting the silence draw out. "It has roots, deep ones." "Exactly. It's outdated," she snapped, rolling up the window and driving off, convinced she had won the psychological battle. She had confused patience with incompetence. That moment, the casual cruelty of her final order was the signal I didn't rush. I went to my study, a room filled with decades of forgotten paper, architectural blueprints, land surveys, and correspondence from the neighborhood's earliest days. My father, one of the original surveyors, had entrusted me with these archives, while Eleanor's legal team relied solely on the secondary, easily corrupted electronic records. I was hunting for the physical truth. The key, I knew, lay not in the current bylaws but in the origins of the land itself. After hours of meticulous searching, I found the document, the original subdivision plat, filed not as a standard residential deed but as an integral part of a preliminary environmental easement. This required a level of deep historical research that Eleanor's speed-obsessed legal team would never undertake. I finally located the heavy, yellow document bound in thick, cracking leather, the *** 1985 Neighborhood Charter ***. The meeting was held the following Monday night, the very eve of the scheduled execution of the oak. The room was packed, heavy with anticipation and the palpable weight of Eleanor's dictatorial authority. She swept through the formalities until she reached the final agenda item, looking directly at me with a triumphant glint in her eyes. Agenda Item 4, the Henderson oak removal. The board is exercising its right under Article 9, Section C to abate the nuisance. She banged her gavel. Approved. She began to gather her papers, dismissing the entire affair. The room was silent, thick with tension and defeat. I rose slowly from the back row. The sound of me opening my old leather-bound briefcase, the distinct, heavy snap, was the loudest sound in the room. "Madam President," I said, my voice calm, carrying that strange, clear authority I only deploy when the test is complete. "A point of order regarding Article 9. Eleanor sighed dramatically, her patience utterly spent. "Mr. Henderson, the time for debate is over. The tree goes tomorrow. The tree stays," I corrected, my voice ringing with finality. "And you, Eleanor, will be stepping down." I walked to the front of the room, ignoring her indignant glare. I placed the glossy booklet, the new 2015 bylaws, on her table. "Eleanor is operating under this document," I announced. A perfectly valid document for any home built after 2015, but my home and this oak tree predate it. I then presented the heavy, yellowed original document, the 1985 Neighborhood Charter. I opened the document to the specific page. "This is the *** Heritage Canopy Clause, ***, I announced. "It states that the founding 25 trees in this development are not HOA property. They are designated protected landmarks entirely independent of board jurisdiction." I leaned in close to Eleanor, whose confident composure had utterly cracked. But the final rider is the most devastating. It states, ***, any HOA officer who attempts to leverage fines or removal against a heritage tree shall be immediately stripped of their title and barred from holding office for life due to gross negligence regarding the community's foundation, ***. I pointed out the window at the shadow of my oak tree. "That isn't my tree, Eleanor. That tree owns the land. My house is just its guest. And you just tried to evict the landlord. If you enjoyed seeing arrogance defeated by history and rulebooks, please hit the like button now." Eleanor was utterly defeated, frantically grabbing the book, searching for a loophole that didn't exist. The silence in the room broke. The applause started slowly, heavily, realizing the tyrant's reign had ended. The tree service did not show up the next day. The fines were voided by noon. Within the week, Eleanor had submitted her resignation. Citing stress, I was outside pruning my roses when I saw the moving truck a month later. She saw me, paused, and quickly looked away. I didn't smile. I didn't wave. I just returned to my slow, methodical work. Like the roots of that oak tree, ***, true power isn't loud or fast. It's deep, quiet, and immovable ***. The structure of her authority was poor, but the evidence was swift and final. If you enjoyed this tale of quiet justice, please subscribe to Bookmark Stories for more.